Yeah, let me scoot back because I look like I'm scaring you. Boo! Boo! Roar! We don't want your clothes on. Yeah. And action. Hey y'all, it's Brooklyn and I'm back once again with another YouTube video. So as y'all can tell from the title, I'm gonna be doing a girl talk video with a very special guest. Yeah. Hey. Y'all seen Zaria in plenty of my videos. She is a dear sister, friend. She's amazing. And she also has a YouTube channel too. So feel free to check her out. I'm gonna put it in the description. I asked you guys on my Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Y'all definitely came through. If you guys have not seen this face before, hi, my name is Brooklyn. I post content that talks about faith as a believer in Jesus Christ, vlogs, school-related videos, preferably HBCU content. Yeah. Oh, that's all right. And so much more, just videos that give you guys a glimpse of my life. For those of y'all who have not already, do not forget to hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and turn on those post notifications. That way you guys will not miss out on any uploads. Also, do not forget to follow me on my socials, which are up here and down below as usual. So without further ado, let's get on started. Get on started. So I have my handy dandy cellular device here, and we're gonna start with the best question. Fix it, Jesus. Okay. Best way to start a healing process. I will say us being believers definitely include God in your healing process, because I think a lot of the times we try to heal on our own, but sometimes we may not know how to heal without God. It's like God shows you how to heal in big and small ways, but I feel like, you know, he wants to be included in every aspect of your life. There's so many scriptures that talk about how he gives us comfort. So I would say definitely include God and giving yourself grace and time. If you're healing from like a traumatic experience or a breakup or whatever, it's important that you give yourself that grace to say like, okay, this might take me a while to heal from, and that's okay. I think a lot of us put pressure on ourselves to be better, lightning speed, and it's like, no, sometimes it takes people weeks, months, even years to heal from things. Just make sure that you're giving yourself grace and yourself time.
Psalms 35, weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. If you are gonna feel some type of way, you know, depending on if it's relationship wise, you know, really did care for that person, it's gonna take some time, but don't rush your process either. I think a lot of times we try to be like, okay, well, I'm done, and just snap back in, and sometimes it'll take you 2 hours, sometimes it'll take you 2 months. Just like Brooklyn said, keeping God in the mix, keeping God in the conversation. Like sometimes you don't have to really petition or request anything, just talking to him about your emotions is really important too. Like it's a relationship. Just in the yeah. A little self-disclosure. When I went through my breakup, I feel like in the beginning I did not give myself enough time to like grieve or like take in how I was feeling. Like of course I felt what I felt, but I felt like, okay, I have to be over it. And then I would get mad at myself when I started feeling sad again. But it's like stuff like that is gonna hurt. You're gonna feel those emotions. I heard this from a movie. Grieving is like learning how to live with an amputation. You learn how to function with it, but you're never the same. But you learn how to cope with it. And another thing I want to say too that one of my friends told me in the past is healing is not linear. If you have to cry, please don't bottle that junk in, because I'm telling you, if you try to bottle it all in, it's the best of the best things.
It's not, because now you're suppressing.
It's like a wound, you know, like you get cut and it heals, but it's still there.
Yeah.
Like it's an experience. It's helping you, it's growing you, it's teaching you. It's a part of the process.
Yeah,
so
for
just
sure.
Live.
That's something you have to remind yourself of too. Like, you will be okay. Say it until it sticks. I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be good. So yeah, I hope that helped. How do you wait on God's timing when it comes to relationships?
Love is patient and kind.
Hit them with the 1 Corinthians.
That is more like a lean on your own understanding of what love is. Don't be like me, guys. Like, very transparent moment. I think my problem is I'm always like, I'm patiently impatient. I'm like, Lord, you know, I trust you,
but
a little bit.
But you know, like, when is it coming though? Like, I trust you, but okay, but I want it now.
Like, you can't put God in one space and trust him fully and not in
the other
space. Like, Put him in
that's good.
everything. And so that is something that I had to learn over time and discipline myself with. Sure, people seem nice. Sure, people, you know, may be good in time, but what's done in the dark is always brought to light. So, you know, just give it. What the Lord has for you is way better than what you think you deserve. I mean, you can't rush God, but don't rush God, because you're just always going to end up finding out why he wants you to wait.
This is how much we see compared to what God sees. I'm still learning to wait on God's timing, because I could have bypassed God and could have gotten to it without consulting with him. In those moments, you're going to see like why God didn't want you with this person. That's why you have to really just use that wisdom. You got to pray, you know, for that discernment. Yeah, it's like it might look like y'all might be cool, but then you're gonna start seeing like, ooh, this is what I got myself into. I think another thing that can help with waiting on God's timing is trying not to fall in the trap of comparison, especially now that we have social media where it's more like in your face. I feel like comparison is the thief of joy. Continue to pray about it. I will say, like, don't lose hope.
That's why the first thing you should ask yourself is, did you pray about it?
Because listen, sometimes we go on our close friends and be ranting. But sometimes we run to Instagram before we run to God. And that, my friend, is where the problem lies. Talk to God about it first. Have you ever had to manage relationships with the opposite sex and having a relationship with God?
Personally, I think it's really easy. That's only because I'm not looking for a relationship in those people. And most of the time, the Lord provides discernment for people who are looking for that kind of thing, because, you know, they'll be like, I want to be your friend,
but they use that to segue into
they're really like trying to see what's up. And so I feel like if there was an open window of opportunity, they would literally run full speed ahead.
I have had guys where it's like they genuinely want to be your friend, but then there's some guys who only want to be your friend just so they can try to talk to you in that way. This is a good question, because there's been multiple occasions for me. I'll be friends with the guy and then my mind automatically thinks, oh, it could be him or it could be him. And it's like, Brooklyn, no. Learn how to cultivate relationships with guys without thinking that they could be your future husband. Like, that is something that I've been learning lately.
You need to address yourself first and be like, what did I think this friendship or relationship was gonna be like? Did I think it was platonic, or did I think it was a potential romantic relationship? You know, and sometimes people say like you could have too many guys. I don't really believe that, because it's like people say you could have too many, and I don't really believe that, because like this is why I feel like it's important to have both sides of friends. Guys, they're giving you advice from a male's perspective. And if you ask a lady, they're giving you from a woman's perspective. So it's like, you need both.
There was a point where deep down I was like, dang, I need more guy friends. I have a lot of female friends. It's always been that way. And I didn't really start to have guy friends until I got to, I would say, middle school. I had like more of my solid group of guy friends when I got to high school / college. I don't think there really is such thing as having too many guy friends, just because there's people where they have a solid group of friends but they just happen to be guys. It kind of just happened that way. Now the problem is, if the girl has a slew of guy friends, she's trying to get with all of them. That's not a good look. How is it being a Christian in college, and was it hard to make friends? As far as it being difficult making friends in college, I feel as though, and this is just my opinion, if you are a dorm body and you don't like going out nowhere, you just go to class, go to your room and just stay there, it's gonna be hard to make friends. If you're not joining organizations, clubs, etc., it might be a little challenging to make friends because you're not putting yourself out there. However, if you are trying to, you know, build your resume, if you're trying to get out there on your college campus, it can be easy to make friends. For me, I was, you know, in choirs. I'm in both choirs, so it was easy to make friends for me. And then in class, you know, I started to cultivate some friendships with people in my classes, even from other colleges, because, you know, that's where networking comes in.
As far as being a believer in college, I would say that it was pretty difficult personally for me at first. I think I was not as confident in my faith when I first came to VSU. I was like, yeah, I am, but I also, you know, really want to make some friends too. So that kind of like contradicted sometimes, because many people believe in God, not a lot of people have a relationship with God. So that kind of started But yeah, being a believer in college is really not that hard once you learn to be firm in your foundation and what you believe in. Time for God always. Like, times can get rough, it could be tight schedule, but you know, in the midnight hour and when you're doing your work, if you just need a moment to just relieve your stress, talk to the Lord, find spaces and time for him. He's always listening and waiting for you.
And heavy on making time for God, because I feel like that's my struggle. Being a music major, honestly, I didn't realize how challenging it was until I came to school. I knew it wasn't going to be easy, but I didn't know that
it's silly. It's like, why are you taking like 12 classes?
It's a lot.
18 credits.
It's a lot.
That's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Time management and then like having my relationship with Christ collided a lot and it crashed and burned. But God knows that you have a tight schedule, but all he wants us to do is make time for him. A lot of people in college, they're still trying to find themselves. They're trying to find their identity. People, you know, dibble and dabble in different things. So being a believer, we're going to be tempted to do that. Your convictions are your convictions. You know, the saints say, be mindful of who you are and whose you are. That really stuck with me just because sometimes we tend to forget, like, we are representatives of Christ. People think that our actions don't really matter or that people aren't watching, but they are.
Testimony kind of moment. I personally dibble dabbled when I first, because like I was so like conflicting, kind of trying to fit in with everybody. Like I personally, you know, fell short. And so I will say, like, I just felt in my heart to say, don't put yourself down because you fell or because you fell into the temptation. The Lord is with you. He's keeping you. He's protecting you. Don't run away from him. Take it to him. And I had to take it to him because I was like, oh, like I just kept trying to run away. I was like, oh my gosh, like he's gonna be so mad at me, and I like, oh, I'm terrible, I'm so worthless, oh my gosh, he hates me, like da da da. Like he's like, when did I say
don't
that?
condemn yourself.
When did I say I hated you?
Never.
Child? Never. So, it's
like that's I can't talk.
Open that Bible.
Oh yes, please.
Open
your word.
Open your weapon.
This next question, I'm gonna try to read it to the best of my ability because it's in 3 parts. How do you think girls give guys chance after chance, even when we plainly see that they're not in it like we are? I think the reason why we give guys chance after chance is because when you want something so badly, you're willing to ignore the red flag. They want to be in a relationship so bad, they're willing to bypass all of the things that are like evident red flags. I'm not just saying, oh, he snores when he sleeps or chews loudly, but no, like he disrespectful to people, he not helping you grow in your faith. When you're willing to bypass those things because you want it so bad, I think that's why we give chance after chance after chance.
I would say it's you building your own perspective of the person. Like you create your own narrative of what you think the person should be, and then you start trying to create that person. So you keep fighting for it and fighting for it. That person you've created is not who that person is. You need to stop trying to act like you're Jesus and you can fix
and you can fix people.
That was something I had to learn. Like,
me too.
You are not the Lord.
You cannot fix or change anyone.
Not the Lord. Fix it, Felix. That's my thing.
Fix it, Felix.
Fix it.
You're not Fix it, Felix. You're not God. You cannot change or save anybody. It kills me when people, like when girls get in relationships with these guys who they know they're not good for them, and they're like, oh, girl, I can change him. Like, I can fix him. Now, there are instances where, you know, the girl might be a believer and the guy isn't, and then she ends up leading him to Christ. They have to be willing. It's not, she made me do it. And I'm not gonna make you believe in God. You have to make that decision within your own heart. That being said,
have an open heart to receive him for yourself.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not
gonna
feed you everything. Like, that's draining to me. Like, I'm pouring my spirit and just
that's exhausting.
That's draining, deteriorating, dehydrating.
It's draining. just cut. Stop. No, don't do it. What is your advice on sisterhood? Right off the bat, get rid of the competition spirit. Get rid of the spirit of competition in your own head, because I think it's so, and I'm gonna speak, you know, us as black women, it's so easy to, especially because society compares us a lot around us, like even with celebrities, like in the music industry, and like people are being compared every single day. It gets rid of, you know, collaboration side of things, where it's like we're supposed to be banding together. And you know, even as women of faith, we should not be comparing ourselves to the next person and feeling like she's going harder than me in her relationship with God, so that means I have to go harder too. Like having that competitive spirit, and it's not like that. This is a relay race. We're running this race together.
You're trying to be better or win the race, whatever the case may be, like it drains you. Like it's so like, because then you're like, okay, well she's doing this, now I have to do this too. Like, oh, she's doing that, now I have to do this, and this. Why are you trying to be better? You're all the same.
They already expect us to always be beefing with one another, and we should be changing that narrative and collaborating, you know, praying for people, praying for our sisters and helping them out. If we see that they're struggling with something, you can't just sit by and let them struggle. Like they're dealing with, you could have overcame that. You could be like, okay, this is how I dealt with it, this is how I overcame this situation, and you can too. I think we just gotta come out of that. Yeah, we gotta come out of that.
That's not just for specifically black people, that's for everybody.
And yeah, like, I just use black women because like
we're black, yes.
We're black. Think about like social media and just like they stay getting compared to. And just like you said, women period get compared a lot. A lot of us think that we have to always be bickering and fussing at each other. Like, it doesn't have to be that way. And I blame entertainment because a lot of reality shows, all they show is women fighting. And so that's when people are out here thinking that that's all we do is fight.
It's all part of the scheme, you know.
And it's creating a false representation of how women act and how sisterhood should be. Sisterhood, there should be no jealousy, no false ill will or motives between one another. It should be all love. And yeah, you might feel, you know, that thing in your heart where it's like, dang, like, you know, I wish I had what she had. Gotta take that to God.
Why do you want what she has?
And then you don't know what she did to get what she has.
Right. So, and then be content in what the Lord has given you. Like, you know what you went through to get to what you have. You know what God has placed in your heart. You know the gifts He's given. Like, keep
it's all that. Yeah. Be content, please.
Stay in your lane. Yeah. Take your own test. Don't look at her paper.
Don't look at her paper. Stop cheating.
This generation dividers now.
This generation don't use privacy folders. Y'all need privacy folders. This generation do not use privacy folders. That's our problem now. You sound old. Things you do that help your mental health. I'm not saying this to be cliche, but praying really helps. Because for me, I'm the type where I cannot conceal how I feel. I had to be like Elsa and let it go. Gotta be like Elsa and let it go. But no, on a serious note, I think you really have to pray. Let it go. Let it go. Lift your hands. Can't hold it back anymore. Lift your hands. Lift your hands. Let it go. Let it go.
Song says let it.
Song says let it go. Song says the snow glows white on the mountain tonight. Not a footprint to be seen. My God. But on a serious note, like I'm the type where if I hold everything in, it's gonna affect me to the point where I can't function. Like, don't allow those things to burden you so much that you can't even go about your life. Relinquish it to God. Let it go. I know it's cliche when people say just pray about it, but no, pray about it and then use practical tools to help you. I'm a firm believer in therapy. Have Jesus in therapy. I know some people disagree, but as for me and my mental health, it helps. I've learned to take what I learned from my therapist and, you know, apply it to my faith in God too. And babes, the Lord gave us wisdom. I say this all the time and I'm sick by it. We are quick to go to the doctor when our leg is broken. You're quick to go to patient first when your toe is hurting. Why is it that when our minds are broken, like we can't go get help or go to a doctor or seek help?
I just took the practical things that they gave me and showed me, and as Brooklyn said, applied it to my faith. Some other things I do personally, I'll just write it down.
Writing helps too.
Write it down. I'll cry it out. I'll sing it out. I'll scream it out. Taking your mind off of it. Watch a movie. Go on a walk. Find something to bring you out of it. Don't stay in it. My aunt, that's Artilita. She always says how she'll take it to God and she'll be like, okay, Lord, I'm gonna sit here for 2 minutes
and
I'm just gonna feel it and I'm gonna let it all out. If it's really bothering her, she's like, I'm just giving myself 5 minutes. Not saying you're literally gonna be like ship-shape perfect. To go through the motions and not just let it build up. I used to always let it just build up, build up, build up, and then I just break.
You can't do that.
Don't.
I want to try. You know how people like they take a plate, write down everything that's bothering them, and then they'll smash it. I want to try that.
Go to a rage room.
I was just gonna say the same thing. It just it broke my heart.
Stupid dinosaur.
Stupid dinosaur. Oh, this is a good question. question. What is the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Oh, it was actually pretty recent. It was my grandfather. He said to live. I think a lot of times we get so caught up in thinking about the future or your present times or things that we've done in the past as believers, and so we're just always so anxious about everything else. But the Lord really just wants you to live and just put faith in him and trust him. So I'm just really learning the value of life right now and living. Living doesn't mean just existing and getting by. Living means you try the things that you didn't really want to try at first. Like, you experience things, you grow, you continue your relationship with God, you make the friends, you make the mistakes, like you live.
Because you don't want to at the end of your life and say you spent all of it worrying. There was this quote I found. It was like, you spend so much time worrying about what's next in your life that you don't even realize that you're in an answered prayer. Like, you're literally walking in at least one of the prayers that you prayed in the past.
The Lord has really been opening my eyes more and more to that. But it'll be like the littlest thing. Where I'll be like, Lord, like, da 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 da. And like one day I was driving. It'll be the littlest things, man. Like, the Lord's so funny. I was driving and like all the lights were green. And so like some people be like, girl, what? But like it was just one of those moments where it's like, just keep going. Like, just go. Like, why are you stop and you, oh my gosh, and I literally had like a revelation while driving.
So. The best piece of advice that I got is not everybody is going to be your friend.
Literally. I'm sorry.
And another one is comfort is where ambition dies. Because when you get comfortable, you don't have the drive to get better and to grow. My sister-in-law gave me that advice. So Jerry, if you're watching this, you're a real one. Thank you, Jerry, because that stuck with me from the day you said that. And then my dad would always tell me, you know, like, not everyone's gonna be your friend. And at the time, I never, like, I was like, okay, when you get older, you're gonna see not everybody is gonna be your friend, and your friend group is gonna shift, it's gonna change.
I was so like focused on wanting that big group of friends. It's great to have the small amount that really truly care about you, just as it's great to have the big that really truly care about you. And sometimes, not all the time, some of those big groups don't even all fully love and care and pour into each other. So
for real,
be grateful again for what you have and don't worry too much about what everybody else got.
How do you handle pressure from guys or rejection? Well, I will say, because you know, in college it's a real thing. There are women who have dealt with that. One thing that we've been told numerous times is the word no is a complete sentence. If you don't feel comfortable, you're in that situation where a guy is trying to make you do something that you don't want to do, saying no is a complete sentence. And you know, if they can't accept that, that shows their character. A lot of people, they claim, you know, like, oh yeah, I respect them, I love them, but when I tell you no, you spaz out and now I'm a B and I'm doing this and I'm this way and I'm that way. But it's like,
I'm bougie.
But it's like, you say you respected me and you love me though, but you can't accept no for an answer.
My friend recently actually said this, where rejection sometimes, or you feeling like people don't really like look your way, is not always because you, like, there's nothing wrong with you. It would be the fact that how you carry yourself is so like a believer, like you carry yourself well, like all these things that you do are good, and those people are not really looking for someone who's going to be serious and be intentional about relationship wise, like be intentional about that. They're in college to have fun. So that goes back to being content, honestly, just being like, oh, it's okay, like that person wasn't meant for me, and just continuing on.
Rejection is God's protection. God could be protecting you from conversations and from situations and just from a lot that you don't know about. It feels rough in the moment when, you know, you get rejected or things like that, but just know that God could be protecting you from something. God is on your side. And it really is. Like, some people, we tend to say that, but like, God really is on our side. What's the hardest thing that you had to overcome, and how did you overcome it? I don't really know. I think the one thing I had to overcome was just like the challenges in my mental health, I would say. Navigating, you know, the practical tools to cope with it, as well as being a believer too. Because again, I didn't really know what resources to use. I still have my challenges, but I'm not where I used to be in that area.
I think the hardest thing I have had to overcome is myself, honestly. From depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, insecurities, things like, I've just really battled with myself. That right there is a God testimony, child. I feel like that's a really long one, but taught me how to put God in a situation and to fully put faith in him and love him and trust what he's called you for, because it doesn't look the exact same as everybody else. I don't know, it was dark, man. It was a dark space, like, for real. So I just thank God, honestly, for that. When I tell people, they be like, really? What? You like don't even look it? And I just, that
because you don't look like what you've been through.
That just like radiate smile.
For
just,
sure.
Like, thank God for real.
To think that there was a point in time where people thought you were crazy for having mental health challenges
and being a believer.
And and as a believer, they made you think like it was you, that you were doing something wrong.
Right.
Like there's so many believers who are way older than us who are just now coming out about their battles with depression and anxiety, suicidal thoughts, etc.
It was so prominent to like talk about the goodness and all the things like, oh, you know, you came to Jesus, like light.
But they don't shed light on the
right, like
the
they
hard
never want to talk about how, yes, I came to Christ, he saved me, yes, he's kept me, but I still have depression. People don't ever want to talk about it. It's piece by piece. Like just because you give your life over, it doesn't mean everything's just gonna automatically turn around.
Yeah.
Like you have to,
it's a process.
and then you also have to be willing and able to give it to him, receive the peace from it, you know. And peace does not literally mean never go through.
Peace is not the absence of problems.
Right, like you'll still experience tough times and tribulation, but it's all for the good of the Lord. It's all for his will.
So we hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Pray that some questions were answered and that your faith was enhanced in some way. We just feel really blessed to have been able to help you guys out. This was really fun. So yeah, we really want to give you guys more content soon, so stay tuned. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Also check out Zariah's channel. What's your channel?
Azariyah.
Yeah, check that out. Again, it's gonna be in the description. And check out my other socials. I'm gonna also put her socials down below as well, so you guys can connect with Zariah. God bless you guys. We love you so much, and we will see you next time. Mwah, bye.